Hello, my name is Brian. This is Football Manager 22, and we're back in Salisbury. We are viewing the club vision screen, and things are pretty positive. Lots of yellow and green, pleased and delighted from the management. Our head coaching performance is described as a B plus. Ever since our Community Shield game we broadcast earlier, there is one very exciting piece of news. And that is, since we are in the Champions League, that means there is the Youth Champions League, essentially. And that means we finally managed to get a youth team. We have a U19 team finally separate. So I could move all of those players away from the senior team onto their own team, with one exception, and kind of keep them out of my hair. Very happy about that. Things have still been a little awkward because that happened after the season started, so when they drew youth teams for the Youth Cup, it's still our senior team listed, though, with the U18 requirement in place, so we have to call up our youth team into the senior team every so often for that. So let's take a look. Heck, let's take a look at that U18 team. Look, players. There's an overview. Yes, currently we've sent Ballesteros down to the youth team because he is still just 19, which means he can play for the U19 team. At least I believe you can have two, maybe U19 teams for the U19 Cup Champions League. And Toby Twos is with the senior team, but obviously is set to always be eligible to play for the U19 team. We also have them set to try and find a friendly every week if they aren't playing a game. But again, since the senior team is scheduled for the actual FA Youth Challenge, that means sometimes they try and schedule a game in those weeks, and I don't want that much game. I don't want them to get injured because we're a bit of a light roster. We've had to sign a few bad players just to kind of fill out the team and make sure we have enough depth of some level of quality. We also have had a bit of amusement in that we have a technical director, so a technical director does try and fill out the staff for you. And so, see the staff, please. Okay, well, this is good enough. So, I'm sure the board's unhappy that we're spending $1 million signing new staff. But, so, I signed some staff that I thought was important, but I wasn't going to go crazy. But the technical director was like, hey, I got to sign staff. And so, he decided to sign 3 U19 goalkeeping coaches. We have 1 U19 goalkeeper. And we have more coaches than we have goalkeepers. Equally insane, he went with the fitness coaches. He signed 2 of those. To couple with our, the fitness coaches can coach the youth team. So it's like, we really need independent youth fitness coaches? Apparently we do. So we're actually overstocked at goalkeeping and fitness coach and understocked at regular coaches. Shout out to Pedro Santos, who is a winger slash defensive back for my Columbus Crew right now in real life. I saw him as a coach, and he's actually not terrible. It isn't just a pity hire. He's legitimately a solid hire for the youth team. So happy about that. So let us see how we've been doing with all those green and yellow arrows. In the EPL, we are in 4th place. Fulham does have a game in hand against us, so with a draw or a win, we would move up to 3rd or 2nd. Man City's a little bit running away with it, so we'll have to track them down. We are winning on goal differential, but that obviously results are what matters. We have qualified out of the Champions League with 12 points. Real Madrid has 9. So I believe goal differential is close, 9-8. So this is our game, the 5th game in the group against them on the road. So a win would obviously clinch top position. A loss would bring things down to the last week of the group. A draw would put us in really good position as well. We'd need to lose. Madrid would need to win, and they need to make her up the slight goal differential. We have continued advancing in the Carabao Cup. It looks like we are in the quarterfinals against Leicester. Cool. The FA Cup, our draw isn't done yet. And the FA Youth Challenge Cup, we have, in fact, there are so many rounds of this damn thing. Because for whatever reason, we had to, come out of qualifying, even in the first qualifying round. I have no idea what you have to do to not have to go through qualifying. But, yeah, so anyways. We had our Community Shield match. We opened the season with a draw to Everton, which wasn't happy. But we proceeded to beat Nottingham Forest and shellac Liverpool. We fit in 2 friendlies in, I think, what was it, international break? Very early in the year. Another draw against Bournemouth. 64th minute penalty, and Ozan saved this one for us with a goal in the 90th plus 5. We beat Madrid at home 2-1. Unfortunately, our youth lost that, so they're not in great position. We beat Newcastle. We absolutely housed Wolves, who are Wolverhampton, who are down in the Championship right now in the Carabao Cup, 3rd round. We went to United and beat them. United is a top 4 side right now, so that was a good win. We beat Salzburg in Salzburg 3-1. We lost to Man City here. Prior to this, we had a 25 match EPL no loss streak. Had entirely won and drawn 25 straight until this game. Erling Haaland happened. He scored in the 12th. He scored in the 58th. Dudarev had a 6.1, which is absolutely terrible. I'm not, it's going to be insane, but, Marin has 7 goals on the year. It seems pretty solid on 11 appearances and 6 substitute appearances. It felt like he struggled. He hasn't played like he has previously, where he just has these ridiculously outrageous goals. He's kind of stepped back. So when I'm trying to play him up top instead of Dudarev, we're struggling a little bit. So then we had 2 more FA Youth Cup games against Bristol Rovers and Southampton. I won both of those. Those were maybe a little harder, 2-0, 3-1, because those are real teams. Then we get into the actual Youth Cup and we play Brackley and Northwood. Like, we have to qualify with Southampton, Brackley, and Northwood get through. I just don't get it. We were missing our the second Toby Landswood for these games, and again, he's not a great developmental piece. Like, he doesn't seem like he can do other things, but he has 16 pace and like 16 finishing. So put him on top of the spear against these youth teams from nearly anyone else, and just kick the ball forward to him, let it run it down, and kick it past the keeper. Because yeah, that's all you need to do. Anyways, we went to Brighton and beat him 3-0. We beat Sporting Club de Portugal 5-1 on the road. We beat West Ham at home. Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. Beat Barnet in the Youth Cup. More qualifying there. Norwich was a draw 2-2. Again, we 4th and 6th minute. We got so far behind. Fabio Torres rescued us in 90th plus 5 with a header. The second game I've had to show like that with these close games where we're bailing ourselves out with draws, and then we'll get Palace 5-0, or just destroy them. We beat Sporting Portugal 4-2 at home. 6-0, 5-0 Youth Cup wins over Colchester and Brackley, and we just lost this game to Fulham. It's a road trip. Fulham is as you might have seen, a top 4 side. We were down 1-0 when Marko Maric, our right back, got himself sent off in the 59th, and which really put us behind the 8 ball. in that we couldn't play how we wanted, really. And they scored another one in the 74th. So that was frustrating. This was a heavily, as much as my team can be, rotated side. Because we have the game against Madrid just 3 days later. So Maric was playing instead of Petkov, Cekatani instead of Owner Terzi. We started with Marin up top. Ballesteros put up a 6.1. Part of the issue is Ballesteros is not Antonio Nusa yet. He's just 19. We're seeing improvement in his attributes, but his performances are very lackluster. They're just the performances of an 18, 19-year-old stepping up to EPL level competition for the first time. So there's going to be some growing pains there. Dudarev has been absolutely insane at the top of the spear. We gifted him, and not gifted. We've given him a new contract he fully deserves. He's now making $10 million a year. But we also removed the not even relegation, the release clause from his contract. It had been, if someone had paid us $120 million, they could have signed him away. But we didn't want that. So it was time to give him a big money deal. So $10 million a year through 2039. Star player. And yeah, he's played up to that. In the Champions League, in 4 appearances, he scored 8 goals. In the Premier League, in 9 appearances, he scored 9 goals. He's a goal-a-game player. In the Carabao Cup, 4 goals in 2 games. It's crazy. Please ignore that sad performance against Tottenham in the Community Shield. But yeah, he's going insane up top, so that is great, even if Marin is sliding a little bit. We've also given a new contract to Zabibi. Just, steady at left back. We've mitigated Capoon's unhappiness about not playing his position. McAvoy wants more playing time, despite the fact that we managed to move him as a squad player in terms of that. I'm not sure how much longer he is for the team. He is signed to 2038. So I guess I don't have any immediate need to move him. But he's a little overpaid for what we are using him for. And then Nagangam is unhappy about not getting a new contract. His contract's up in 2036. It is the near end of 2034. It is very likely in my mind that we let Nagangam go. Well, we sell him for $50 million and bring our defensive midfielder up from, I believe, Fluminense is where we bought him from and where he's loaned out for the rest of this year. So Nagangam primarily plays at defensive midfield for us, so that would be the 1-to-1 swap. With Zabibi and Matea at left back as a rotation there. So we are back to kind of our conventional setup here. Dudarev up top, Garcia and Moss on both of the wings. Ozan, McAvoy, Owner stepping in at defensive midfield today to try and get a little more thrusting attack out of the midfield rather than just a defensive player like Nagangam there. Zabibi, Torres, Capoon, Petkov back line, Johansson in the net. All pretty standard. Petkov is apparently on a bit of a yellow card accumulation situation. Honestly, if he picks up a yellow card here, it might not be the end of the world, because then he'd be sitting out our last game against Salzburg. And that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if we have a good result here, rather than carrying that kind of accumulation presumably into the knockout stages, where missing him would be a significant setback for the team. Looks like we'll be in blue today. And we have the opening kickoff. Ball's played back to Capoon after some passes, and then back to Johansson, up to Torres. Johansson, Capoon, over to Torres. Owner, Ozan. Our two Turks passing back and forth, back to Torres. I would like to see our left backs and right backs slide back there a bit farther to open themselves up to passing opportunities. Petkov has, in fact, picked up his yellow card. He heard me talking about, hey, maybe we should get that done for us. Not quite exactly what I wanted to, like, hey, we should do this automatically as soon as possible. Because, I really don't need him picking up a red on 2 yellows. Passing triangle in the midfield, gets it up to Dudarev, plays it up to Ozan, who plays it forward to Garcia, got up a bit of a step, but no, unfortunately, settling the ball at his feet allowed the right back to recover and get in his way. The then shot was blasted high and wide. And they're going to have a corner. We've been a bit bad at corners recently. I really should probably go into training and put defending corners / defending set pieces as a priority. What happened there? Johansson made a really good dive for it, and the ball phased through him? Maybe went under him? His arm that he was counting on to hit the ball just missed? Yeah, I guess, clipped the underside of his body or something. Disappointing. Looks like he made a good save to me, and just wasn't enough, apparently. Zabibi, Garcia plays it forward to Dudarev. Dudarev's got a step. And when, off the goalkeeper's hands, did a good job. Unsurprising. Real has a good goalkeeper. So when the group stage draw happened, this is interesting to me. You probably all know all about all the rules, but we were actually in the first pod. So apparently, I'd assume the top 5 leagues, if you win those leagues as the true champions, no matter what your coefficient is, you get put in the top pod, along with, say, the next 3 best teams who aren't champions. So we got put into the first pod. Unfortunately, that meant we ended up drawing basically the best team out of pod 2 anyways, Real Madrid, who was second place in La Liga last year. Ugh. Miss a tackle, Rashford on the run, but luckily misses it as this terrifying sight of Sebastian Johansson in net scares him into a mistake. Try to encourage the boys, keep the attitude solid. Torres still unhappy. Anxious. Doesn't like the big games, apparently. That's not a great sign. We have sent Marcos Torres down to Barnsley again in the championship. We kind of tightened up the rotation. I'm not sure if that's the correct decision or not. Torres might be better than Hurleman at this point. Really, the center backs and left back. Oh, McAvoy making a run. Nickwan McAvoy may be justifying his complaints that he needs more playing time. O'Neill was the trigger man. Yeah, good run from McAvoy. It's exactly what I want. How the formation designed is that that attacking center midfield can just run up into that gap that they're like, oh, I'm all afraid of the star striker sitting right there. And they miss the guy surging into the gap right next to him, and they're afraid of leaving Dudarev. And so they leave an opportunity like that for us. Interesting, they've made a halftime sub. Valverde is the one who came on, so it looks like it was in the central midfield. Valverde, not Valverde. Barbarian. Petkov does a good job blocking that cross attempt, but they get the corner out of it. Kind of a group clearance there. Rashford settling under it. Real goes back on the attack, though having a bit of a kickabout with it. Zabibi does not do a great job of marking this man. That's partially because he was offside, so can you really blame Zabibi? So as I said before, a draw would be a very fine result for us. It means we would control our own destiny, with, I presume, a home game against RB Salzburg, whether we're first or second in the group, and thus we get to face, I assume, a second place team in the knockout draw. Valverde plays it for the Vinny Jr. Pekov does a good job taking away his good options, played into Cavaminga. Pekov does not do a phenomenal job of staying with him, and he gets a good shot attempt off. Luckily, Johansson, quick hands, good dive, clears it, and they will take the corner. When near post, ball comes in fast on Johansson, but again, he's a phenomenal goalkeeper. Pekov will have the throw in to McAvoy, up to Moss. Moss, who has gotten his first couple caps for the English national team now, so congratulations to Kevin Moss and his English team caps, including his first goal representing England. McAvoy plays in front of Dudarev. The lamp is lit. Let's see what the official review has to say. It was a little herky-jerky, but I feel like he was on sides, and I am wrong. Padden Richard did enough. It was kind of lurking in a bad spot. Moss header into McAvoy, headed up to Petkov. Petkov making his run to the end line. Doesn't quite have the... created a step there briefly. Petkov into McAvoy. Back up Petkov. A little surprised Moss is tucking in so aggressively. Oh, what a shot from Onur Terzi. Right now, player of the game, having passed it forward to McAvoy for the first goal, and then at the defensive midfielder spot, bending that ball in from distance. What a beauty. Nice. Love it. And it is substitute time here. We will bring in Maric at right back. Again, yellow card. We want to be playing any numbers. Ozan needs a rest. We shouldn't be playing him here, but big game needed to. We'll bring in Cekatani. And Moss on the right wing. Our best option there would be Marin. It's not really a winger per se. Let's let the clock run for a little bit and see if anything comes up in the next 5-10 minutes. I think we should put in Marin for Moss. Thank you. Torres with the header. Torres is on a yellow card. Hurleman could come in for him. No, he couldn't. Hurleman is not part of the bench today, since we don't have our full 9 bench. We are on just 7 bench. Torres up to Cekatani. Garcia is up to Zabibi. Tried to intercept it there. Luckily, they couldn't knock it away, and Zabibi eventually regained possession of it. We reversed the other side of the pitch through the central defense, and then out to Maric. Played up to Moss, who immediately plays it back to Maric. Bombs it forward to Moss, now that he's got space. End line. Cross. Oh, deflecting header by Dudarev. On frame. Not quite enough. Yep. Let us go ahead and bring in Marin now. Well, sure, play him as a inverted winger, based on his footedness and preference. So, Maric will need to occupy the outside space all the more right now. Marin plays it forward to Cekatani. Oh, off Kobal's hands. It doesn't look like it was offside, so we will get to take this corner. It's a positive development. Garcia will take it for us. Goes back post. Bit strange. Usually we are looking near post. Again, that was a good pass out of a deep spot. In the past, we've seen problems created there. Team does a good job of blocking up in front of Carrasco and taking away his good angles. Let's tell the boys to begin time wasting as need be. Garcia, Onur, Dudarev. Onur out to Garcia. No, into Cekatani. Duderev was just having a pass about. I am fine with this. McAvoy up to Duderev, seeing an opportunity there. Over to Marin. Definitely has a step. Unfortunately, doesn't have a good angle on the goal. And yeah, the official is going to have a think about whether that was a penalty or not. In our last game against Fulham, the 2-0 loss, we actually had a penalty awarded for us in the 75th minute, and Duderev stepped out to take it. Hopefully his mind is clear from then, as that one he went right up the middle high and was parried into an easy knock over the goal. So, that would have made it 1-2 and at least given us a chance there in the last couple minutes. Instead, we didn't, completely deflated the team and Fulham ran out the clock on us. Not going to be the case here. Up 3-1 with just 4 minutes of stoppage time available for Real to somehow desperately try and grab a draw out of this. They are still in great shape, obviously, on, I believe, 9 points. It looks like perhaps Salzburg had beaten Sporting Club de Portugal, and they were both on 3 points. If that's the case, European, what if I don't want latest scores? What if I want a league table? Yes. No, Sporting Club is on 6 points. So if this continues as we expect in these last 2 to 3 to 4 minutes, I believe they will be playing head to head. And Sporting Club will possibly have their fate in their hands. If they win, then they'd go to even with Madrid, as Madrid, I assume, must have beaten them previously. And they'd be equal on points, and in the head-to-head would both be 1-1. At that point, would it go to overall aggregate, or would it go to aggregate in games between the two of them? I don't hazard to guess, but that was a great performance. Playing one of the top teams from La Liga, historical giant. Lots of names that even I recognize. Rashford, Vinicius Jr., Cavamenga, all currently, I believe, talented young players in real life. All right, we are going to rest Ozan the next game. Well, it's just the next 3 days. Owner, you were amazing. Great job, buddy. All right. So that's where we're at. We have a very, very packed December ahead of us. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in December. It's, literally, gosh, this is the worst. A game, 2 games a week, and 3 in the final stretch. With that awful, I hate Boxing Day. Hate it. Hate the tradition. As a foreigner, obviously, who didn't come up with a tradition, grew up with it, and, if I did, maybe I would love it, but I don't know, that's nightmarish. We'd have 4 games and functionally like 8 days. Saturday, Tuesday, Friday, Monday. I guess it's more than that, but like 9 days. Guys are gonna be exhausted. And then, a game, at least we have 5 days off there, or we continue. We have 5 days off there and then 6 there. At least then, for now, I guess a little lighter at the end of January. But, because I don't think the Champions League will start filling us out until February, March. Probably February. The teams falling down out of... no, never mind. Yeah, so that's where we're at. In our loanees, Torres is doing great at Barnsley, as he tends to do. Just needs to get that pace up a little more. Barnsley's in 13th, down from where they were last year. Yes, this is Romulo Leandro. We mentioned him briefly last episode in terms of our purchases, and I mentioned him briefly here. very solid stat block, 20-year-old Brazilian, on loan with Fluminense. And next year I'm going to bring him back in. He's a defensive midfielder, so potentially Nagangam will be out in favor of Leandro. Christopher Banda, 25 appearances for Toluca in the Liga MX. Fabio Lentini, our Australian striker, on loan at Nice, has 6 goals in 14 appearances for a mid-table Liga 1 side. And the Argentinian center mid, who came out of the second tier of Argentina, who's on loan there at Maccabi Tel Aviv. He's had 20 appearances, so he's getting to play. That's good, and gotta love all those arrows going up. He's, I don't think, given he's 18, that single star, I'm not sure he'll ever get good enough to play for us, but I'm hoping he will be a worthwhile investment. So that's where we're at. I will, be moving forward through December and the winter transfer window with the save. And maybe we'll be back, I don't know exactly when. Maybe this Man City game, as they're in first place, and a road game against them will be tough. If not, then it'll certainly be our next Champions League appearance. We'll definitely be showing that. I will definitely be showing that. I'm using the Royal We. Yeah, that's the ticket. Anyways, I'd like to thank you for joining me. Don't hesitate to subscribe, to like, to ring the bell, whatever that does. All of those fun things. Please just say, hey, Ryan, I like this player. I think you got a real winner on your hands. Or Ryan, I think that player's done. He's not going to reach his potential. Maybe it's time to move him on. Or, anything else that comes to mind. Love to hear from you. No matter what, I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you soon.